Hi, hello, welcome to my channel, Laugh, Love, Read. I'm Kay, and today we are going to talk about the books that I read in February and a few books I read in January. So I actually read 11 books in February, and I'll start off by talking about Bridgerton because I did not cover all of the books, or at least the 5 books I read in January of the Bridgerton series, because I didn't really want to spoil what I was doing. But yeah, so the books, I would say The Duke and I is probably 2.5 stars. It just was not my cup of tea, not really the romance. The writing, or rather how the story was written, right? I talked in my tier ranking about like the time passing and not liking how that went. And then, of course, problematic scenes, right? So there's that. The second book, The Viscount Who Loved Me, I would give 5 stars. I really enjoyed the romance. I loved the story. It was really sweet. And, you know, little drama can be overseen with Regency novels. I feel like there's always a little drama. An Offer from a Gentleman is probably 3.75. It's not quite a 4, but it didn't really do anything wrong necessarily either. I just don't really enjoy Cinderella retellings, and it's just super dramatic. Like it was too much kind of going on. While it wasn't necessarily unbelievable, it's just I wasn't really enjoying it too much. So then Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, probably 3.75 again, or 4. I'm really debating that one because I thought I would like that one the best, but I felt like it lacked a little oomph for me personally, in regards to like how the plot develops. You know, there's a big reveal, and it didn't go into much detail about like the consequences of that reveal, which I thought would have been necessary and really added to the story. But yeah, to Sir Philip with Love, I'm gonna give it a 3. I would give it a lower score, but I don't really want to put it on the same level as The Duke and I. But it was not it. Just I didn't really like anything about it. I don't really think like it did much of anything wrong. There wasn't really anything problematic, but it just didn't really make sense to me. I wasn't feeling the characters. They were a little bland for me. And yeah, just misconnections with the kids, and then shitty parenting, and just not really too enjoyable. So then we have the last 3, which are the 3 that I read in February, and it's When He Was Wicked, which I would give 4 stars, and It's in His Kiss, which I would also give 4 stars. They had some things there that I wasn't too crazy about, but overall it was really enjoyable. I loved the romances, and you know, they were great regencies. And then On the Way to the Wedding, which is the last one, and that one I would give 5 stars. It really did it for me. The romance, the details of like the emotions that were happening, the couple was really sweet, and yeah, it just a perfect regency, to be honest, for me. I will say the series as a whole is very formulaic, and if you kind of read them all back to back to back to back, how I did, they get a little boring, and they kind of start blending together, to be honest. There's always like, you know, they were thrown together, stuff happens with couples, and somebody gets compromised, and then there's a wedding, and then eventually everybody confesses their feelings long after they know, and when they are intimate, even that is formulaic. Like, I feel like there's an oh my god and I don't care in the first sex scene that they have in like every book. It's annoying. But yeah, so I would not read all of them back to back, to be honest. But out of all of the 8 books, I would say The Viscount Who Loved Me and On the Way to the Wedding are the only ones that I would give 5 stars. So then we have Tools of Engagement by Tessa Bailey, and this is part of a series. I read the other 2 books. I didn't really enjoy the first one. I loved the second one, Fix Her Up, and I thought I would really love this one. I really enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as I thought we would. I would. And in the book, we basically have Bethany and Wes, and they're in this sort of frenemy situation. But ultimately, I felt like it didn't dig deep enough into issues that it should have taken the opportunity to. Bethany has some issues that we wouldn't have thought her to have from the other book. She seems very confident, and that's sort of lacking really in this book. And I thought it would be more of a plot point, which it is, but at the end it kind of, it's not developed enough in the rest of the book. They should have really made it a bigger part of the plot, if that makes any sense. And then the romance was really sweet though. At the same time though, another thing was that Bethany makes a big deal kind of about their age difference in previous books and at the beginning of this book. So I thought that it was going to be more of an issue and talked about more, and it wasn't really. And I mean, not that it should be a problem, but I just thought that it would be more of a concern for her because she seemed to be really concerned about that. And then she just kind of like lets it go, I guess. But overall, really sweet, cute, loved the romance. And yeah, I would give it 4 stars, I think. So then we have Get a Life Chloe Brown, and this is 5 stars. And it's a series, so I do plan on continuing with the series. We have another sort of frenemy situation between Chloe and Red, and I really loved them as a couple. This book actually has a bit of a miscommunication issue going on, but I really loved how it was done. I think that the miscommunication isn't so much due to miscommunication as it is due to insecurities that both of the characters have. And I think as soon as we have that big fight, that big moment, they both realize that it's due to their insecurities, and we kind of have the fallout of that. But it really worked for me that it was due to other issues that they both personally had. So I really enjoyed that, actually, despite the fact that I don't tend to like that sort of stuff, but it really worked for me in this book and I just loved it. It was adorable, it was perfection. And Get a Life Chloe Brown is by Talia Hibbert. So yeah, sorry, I didn't mention that earlier. And then I read The Raven and the Dove by Kaitlyn Davis. And this one, I'm so conflicted because I want to give it, on the one hand, 3.5, but I feel like I should give it 4, but I'm gonna compromise and just give it 3.75, okay? Because partially it's my fault. This is a Tristan and Ilso. I don't really know how to say it properly, or their names really. I don't really know their story. But I quickly learned that it has cheating, and so The Raven and the Dove is advertised as a retelling of their story, and so it was really my fault that I went in not knowing that cheating was going to be involved in this story, which I don't really like in my romances. And I mean, there's a lot of star-crossed lovers type feels in this, so one could maybe understand a little bit, but really I was not feeling it. I thought half the things that happened were unnecessary, just talk to people, please. So I don't know, I don't know. Aside from that though, I really enjoyed the romance, and there was a lot of time spent building the romance. However, a lot of it was off screen at the same time, so I wish it was more on screen or on the page, I guess. But aside from that, it was great. I was really intrigued by the plot. and I really want to see kind of where it goes from here. There was definitely a moment at the end that just had me bawling my eyes out. Like, I don't know how this character is going to react to what has just happened to him, and it's just, yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, 3.75, maybe 4, I don't know, we'll see. I'll keep thinking about it. Then I read A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, and off the bat, this is a 4-star read for me. This is obviously a continuation of the ACOTAR series. I'm sure people know about it, but I was intrigued to keep going with the series. I mean, I am still intrigued to keep going with the series. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how it ends, who ends up with who, etc. So yeah, this one was about Nesta and Cassian, and I love them as a couple. I think we all saw it coming, but it was nice seeing it develop, and they were really cute. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more so than I thought I would, because I hate Nesta, or I hated Nesta as a character, due to her relationship with Farah, and I really enjoyed seeing them kind of rebuild their relationship. And yeah, I mean, Nesta's just, she was pretty shitty as a sister, so it was nice to see her work through all of the hurt and anger that she has, and kind of be a better sister, and just really find herself and come up, like, build her own set of friends, and this beautiful relationship with Cassian. So I really enjoyed it. However, the plot was just kind of lacking. I felt it was very character driven, so character development driven, but not very plot point driven. Like, nothing was really happening. There were no high stakes. There was no like bigger anything. I'm sure that it will lead to more in the other books. The rest of the series, right? I feel like going forward, it's going to be more standalones than a big connecting series, kind of how the other ones with Farah were. But either way, I'm still looking forward to the rest, especially after that Asriel bonus chapter. I just want the next book, and I hope we don't have to wait 3 years for it. Please give it to me soon. I really need to know what happens with Ass. Okay. And then I read Between the World and Me by Ta-nehisi Coates, and this book is 5 stars. It is basically a letter from the author to his son about his experience being a Black man in America, and what he's had to deal with, experiences that he has had. He also recounts things that have happened to the people around him, like big cases that we have seen in the media of discrimination and acts of police brutality and violence. So I really enjoyed it. I really loved how he puts his emotions into this. Like, it was really great seeing, his disappointment, his anger, his passion for this topic, and just, his experiences. And that's what really made it 5 stars for me. And interestingly enough, I looked at some of the reviews, and there were quite a few reviews. I feel like all of the 1-star reviews were mad at, that emotion coming through. And I just think that's interesting, considering that most of those reviewers seem to be white. So I don't know, I just do with that what you will, but I just feel like if you were a Black man in America, you'd be pretty upset about what's happening also. But yeah. So then I read Intercepted, Fumbled, and Blitz by Alexa Martin. And these 3 books are also formulaic in a way, kind of how I mentioned Bridgerton was. So the characters sort of have some sort of history, and then we get to see their relationship develop like in the present, sort of. So the last one's a little bit more different, and that's why it was my favorite out of all three of them. But let's backtrack a little bit. So the first two, Intercepted and Fumbled, you know, we don't really get to see the relationship, how it starts, or the first time, sorry, that they like meet. We don't get to see their past. We only get to see the present, but the past is mentioned, and that's supposed to somehow like have this connection and this bond between the characters, but I don't really feel it because I didn't get to see it like at any point, not in flashbacks, not at the beginning, like nothing. So it was just like 0 to 100 real quick for me, and I didn't particularly enjoy that. The first book has so many hashtags, it was driving me insane. I was absolutely done after the first 5 chapters, to be honest. Too many hashtags. Why? Then, you know, both of them had like this big, I mean, technically all of them had like this pressing issue that would come up that seems maybe sort of life or death. And it just felt a little bit too unnecessary and dramatic. And yeah, I just wasn't feeling them that much. I would give the first two 3 stars. I give the last one, the third one, Blitz, 4 stars. And I thought it was going to be the one that was going to be 5 stars. And I am very, very pissed off that it is not. I kind of want to give it 3 stars also, but I am just hurt by what it did to me, which is a good thing. That means I was really invested in the story. So yeah, 4 stars because this one actually introduces the meeting when they first meet. So I was like, already, we're already starting way better. Like, this is gonna be the one for me, right? No, okay. So the relationship develops beautifully. We got to see them develop like a friendship and then their romance, and it was wonderful. However, the big conflict, you know, as there always is in romance novels, happens, and it is possibly the stupidest thing I have ever read in my life when it comes to conflicts, right? I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but you would think that when you find out something about your partner, like, I just don't think that the natural reaction is to believe what somebody else is telling you. I just think that, you know, when you love somebody, the most common reaction, even if it's the wrong one, it's for you to like believe them or at least have some doubt, right? About something bad that's said about them. So I was really, it felt really unbelievable for me that her automatic reaction was genuinely to believe this. And then I knew that when that happened, the reason behind it, what the reasoning this author was going to go with. And I would have been okay with that had the protagonist not had a whole epiphany like halfway through the book about how, you know, she wasn't going to let this thing affect her life and how she was past that thing in her life. So then for you to go back and like blame that as the reasoning for you to like self-sabotaging this relationship, it was just really unbelievable and freaking annoying. And so I had to look at the reviews to see if I was like out of my mind. And no, a lot of people were very upset by her reaction, and then the lack of groveling that was done after this. I mean, I feel like it would have really had an impact on the relationship and the trust there. And I just, you know, when people mess up in relationships in my books, I really want to see some groveling. I want to see some asking for forgiveness. I want to see you actually making it up to this person, like, and that just didn't really happen. So it just really pissed me off. But yeah, I'm seeing that as a good thing because it means I really cared about it. So yeah, 4 stars for Blitz, 3 stars for the other 2. They just didn't do it for me. And yeah, that's it. Those are the 11 books I read in February. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.